Have you ever watched someone get judged in just a few seconds, only to discover that everyone was completely wrong? Sometimes the person who looks the simplest carries the biggest heart, and sometimes the greatest lesson comes when kindness speaks louder than money. Today's story is about a father who lost something valuable, but gained something far greater that changed everyone around him forever. Before you decide who deserves respect, remember that appearances can hide incredible stories. Stay with me until the end, because what happened just 5 minutes after one wealthy passenger took a black single dad's VIP seat left an entire airport silent. If you enjoy heartwarming stories that remind us how powerful kindness can be, please subscribe to Spread Kindness, like this video, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support helps us share more inspiring stories with people all around the world. Marcus Johnson was a 38-year-old black single dad from Atlanta. Every day, he worked hard as a community youth mentor while raising his 9-year-old daughter, Lily, on his own. Life wasn't always easy, but Marcus believed that respect and kindness were worth more than money. His daughter often smiled and said, "Dad, you make everyone feel important." Those words meant more to him than any paycheck. One Friday afternoon, Marcus and Lily arrived at the airport for a flight to Seattle. Lily had been invited to speak at a national reading competition after winning first place at her school. It was the biggest moment of her young life. A few days earlier, an anonymous donor had surprised Marcus by upgrading both of their tickets to VIP seats. Marcus had no idea who had done it, but he was deeply grateful. It meant Lily could enjoy her very first-class experience. As they boarded the plane, Lily looked around with excitement. "Dad," she whispered, "this is so beautiful." Marcus smiled. "You earned this, sweetheart. Enjoy every second." Just as they reached their seats, a sharply dressed businessman stepped into the aisle. He wore an expensive suit, a luxury watch, and carried himself with confidence. He glanced at Marcus and frowned. "There must be some mistake," he said loudly. "Those are my seats." Marcus politely showed his boarding pass. "I believe these are assigned to us." The man barely looked. "No offense, but people like you don't usually sit up here." Several nearby passengers turned to watch. Marcus stayed calm. "I'm simply sitting where my ticket tells me." The businessman waved at a flight attendant. "I paid a fortune for this flight. Fix this." The flight attendant checked both boarding passes carefully. "Sir," she said gently, "Mr. Johnson's tickets are correct." The businessman crossed his arms. "I don't care. Move them." Lily quietly held her father's hand. Marcus looked at his daughter, then smiled softly. "It's okay." He turned to the flight attendant. "If moving us makes everyone's day easier, we're happy to sit wherever there's room." The attendant looked surprised. "Sir, you don't have to do that." Marcus nodded. "Peace is more important than pride." The businessman smirked as Marcus and Lily gathered their bags and walked toward the back of the aircraft. Some passengers shook their heads, feeling sorry for them, while others stayed silent. Lily looked disappointed but didn't complain. "Dad," she whispered, "that wasn't fair." Marcus squeezed her hand. "No, sweetheart. But we never let unfairness steal our kindness." Exactly 5 minutes later, everything changed. The captain's voice came over the speaker. "Ladies and gentlemen, due to an unexpected operational issue, everyone must leave the aircraft immediately." Confused passengers began collecting their belongings. People whispered nervously as they walked back into the terminal. The businessman complained loudly. "This airline is unbelievable." Marcus simply comforted Lily. "It's okay. We'll get there when we get there." A few moments later, several airport security officers and airline executives entered the waiting area. One senior executive walked directly toward Marcus. "Mr. Johnson?" Marcus stood. "Yes?" The executive smiled warmly and extended his hand. "Sir, we've been looking for you." The businessman watched with confusion. The executive continued. "I'm David Collins, Regional Director for the airline. I want to personally apologize for what happened on board." Marcus looked surprised. "You don't owe me an apology." David smiled. "Actually, we do." He turned toward the gathered passengers. "Many of you don't know this, but Mr. Johnson is the founder of the Johnson Family Foundation's Aviation Scholarship Program." People stared in disbelief. David continued. "Over the past 10 years, his foundation has quietly paid for flight training, emergency travel for struggling families, and scholarships for hundreds of young people pursuing careers in aviation." Marcus looked uncomfortable. "We don't usually talk about that." David nodded. "I know. That's exactly why I wanted everyone to hear it." The businessman suddenly realized who Marcus was. His confident expression disappeared. David smiled at Lily. "And this young lady inspired the Foundation's children's literacy program after she began collecting books for homeless shelters." Lily blushed. "I just wanted other kids to have stories to read." Several passengers smiled with tears in their eyes. One elderly woman stepped forward. "Young lady, you've inspired all of us." Just then, maintenance crews confirmed that the aircraft would remain grounded due to a mechanical issue. The airline arranged another plane for all passengers. David turned to Marcus. "We've reserved the best seats for you and Lily on the replacement aircraft. We'd also like to thank you publicly for everything you've done for our communities." Marcus gently shook his head. "Please don't make this about me." David smiled. "Then who should we thank?" Marcus looked around the room. "Thank every teacher who encouraged a child. Every neighbor who helped someone in need. Every stranger who chose kindness instead of judgment. None of us succeeds alone." Silence filled the terminal. The businessman slowly walked over. His voice was quiet. "Mr. Johnson. I judged you before I knew anything about you." Marcus smiled kindly. "We've all made mistakes." The man lowered his head. "I'm truly sorry." Marcus extended his hand. "I forgive you." The businessman looked surprised. "You do?" Marcus nodded. Holding on to anger never helps anyone grow. The man wiped away a tear. "I think today changed my life." When everyone boarded the replacement aircraft, something beautiful happened. Several passengers insisted Marcus and Lily board first. People applauded as they walked down the aisle. The same elderly woman smiled at Lily. "You've already won something much bigger than a reading competition." Lily looked at her father. "What did I win?" Marcus smiled. "The chance to remind people that kindness always has the loudest voice." As the plane lifted into the sky, Lily rested her head on her father's shoulder. "Dad?" "Yes?" "I'm glad we lost those seats." Marcus smiled. "So am I. Because if they had never walked away quietly, dozens of strangers would never have learned that true greatness isn't measured by wealth, titles, or VIP seats. It's measured by how you treat people when no one is watching. And maybe that's the greatest lesson of all. Every person you meet is carrying a story you cannot see. Choose kindness before judgment. Offer respect before assumptions. A small act of grace can change a heart, heal a wound, or even transform a life. If this story touched your heart, remember to share kindness wherever you go. The world needs more people who lift others up, and your kindness may be the miracle someone has been waiting for.